Good morning, my dear friends. Happy Friday. You got Gord, your hurting hippie, and he's in pain today, but he's here for you. I had a hard night, my friends. I have somehow once again twisted my back in a different spot now. Ooh, it's a nerve. My nerves are bare, disc degenerative disease. So some of my nerves actually show under the skin. You know what I mean. And I think one of them got pinched right up by the rib cage. Makes it difficult to breathe if I turn wrong, and makes picking up anything really difficult. So I didn't think I was going to do a video this morning, but I really wanted to do a follow-up on yesterday's. First of all, thank you, all of you. I'm giving you the thumbs up. I hope you give me it too. Because 150 views in one day, I haven't had that since I did my warnings on the nectar collector or my Maui Wowie strain review. That still gets... It had 300 views yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Friends, I have a fair amount I want to get accomplished today, so let's get over the early stuff. Stay tuned. There will be little known facts at the end, and when I'm finished this little bit of a catch up, I do have a talk on the pros and cons of legalization. I live in a legal country. I live in a country where cannabis is legal. Some have said it's not legal, it's just regulated. Some have said, thank God it's legal. Others wish legality would go away. I try to attack that in a very calm pro versus con way, from my opinion. Again, opinion. It's a cow's point. It's a moo point. It doesn't really matter. It's just what I think. Friends, first I want to show you, I found some art that I did on this day 7 years ago. So I'm going to throw it up. First, you see the city in a pullback. I love to do that. You just get... It takes a lot of work because you got to sit and hold the camera for the longest time, and then right before you let go of the shutter, you've got to pull back on, and you have to have a it's got to be a DSLR because you've got to be able to hold your shutter open, and you got to pull back on your lens just a little bit, and that creates that view. Next, you have over. Next is over the railway. This is sitting over what used to be my work, CP Rail, in Ogden, Calgary, in the shops, the main hump yard. I just like trains. The third one, I called it Purple Solitude. I really enjoy that one. I used to love to play with sky colors and make it feel like otherworldly. And finally, the romance of the train, saying bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed that, friends. Thank you for the comments you may do. And an update on my son. He's heading to school today with his mother for a parent-teacher interview, that's all. But he doesn't feel scared about the school anymore. Those stupid bomb threats, turns out, were made from somewhere in another country. I'm not going to mention the country. I'm not going to get myself in trouble for saying silly things, but it's from a country that sends hostage type things. It was either we're going to blow up the school or you turn over a bunch of bitcoins. And it was a couple of them from the same email address in the same continent, way over the other end of things. So he feels safe. I feel safe. He's going to continue on with school. And thank you, all of you, for the nice comments you've made. Pasha definitely is a very young, mature man who's growing up really nicely. And I'm not against the fact that this happened, because when things like this happen, we grow. Good always comes from bad, and even when good happens, a little bad might follow or might have preceded it. It's the yin and the yang. Now, friends, what about legalization? What are the pros? What are the cons? Why are people upset? That kind of thing. You know, I can understand people who weren't around in the 70s and the 60s when people were getting arrested and beaten by cops, and marijuana madness was wild. It was rampant. Only those of us who toked very quietly and very behind the scenes knew that this marijuana madness was not real. Back then, the majority believed all of the stigma. So to see where we are now, I'm quite happy. Are we where we should be? No, but I've said it many times, 4 or 5 years, maybe even 10, to make a brand new marketplace start to really make sense and have sensible regulations. All this stuff has to get worked out. But what are the pros to having legalization? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Tonight, as long as my back holds up, I'm going down the road only 2 blocks away, 3, maybe 2.5, to 5 Points Cannabis, and I'm going to an education session. They have them every Friday. Last week was cannabinoids. This week is rosin pressing. And we learn, and yes, definitely, even the old hippie can learn. And that's what I mean is now education about cannabis is countrywide. I know Alberta leads the country in stores and the way it's working and sales and all that stuff, but that's how best practices roll across the country. Now, Halifax is taking Alberta's ideas and going even further and bringing private enterprise into public domain. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Things are changing because of education sessions. And, the next thing that's a pro is that research is going underway. Heavy and full force. So lots of the stigma of the past is disappearing through education sessions. Much better access to knowledge. Much less fear to accessing that knowledge. You know, that kind of thing. And YouTube leaves me alone on my videos. I bet you I might even be able to remonetize. Too much crap going on there. Another pro, the convenience. The convenience, I'm willing sometimes. I go down to my local store a couple of blocks away, and there's another one opening 2 blocks away from that one. I can go to my local store, and for a few bucks more, I can get some cannabis if I'm out. You know, it's the 7-Eleven convenience kind of thing. They have it. It's not bad quality. It's not. Some of it's even really good quality. It's a little higher price than we're used to paying. But you pay for convenience. You pay for access. You pay for legality. And you're talking to somebody who still buys in the gray market. No fear, less arrests. Those are another couple of points I made. I keep looking down because I've got my points down here, because I tried to do this video last night and I was high and I was all over the place, and I tried to watch it this morning and I couldn't give it to y'all. So, less arrests. Almost nobody getting arrested. There's some people being really, really stupid, and stupid people get arrested. You can't help that. But most people are not getting arrested. They're carrying it properly in their car. It shouldn't be open in their car. Most people are not driving high. It's a responsible new environment. And yes, the driving tests are wrong. That too will work out down the road. But because of all of those, legality has also brought something that I didn't really think would be as big as it is. And that is new smokers, new lovers of the plant, people who never would have touched it because it was illegal. It's now legal and they're enjoying it and they're spreading the word. This is how things get better. So, am I for legalization? Yes, because I've worked all my life for it. Do I think we are fully legalized and there? No. I've said all along we won't be for 4 or 5 years. But am I happy we did it? Yes, I am. There are reasons to be upset, and I get it. And now the cons of legalization, and the biggest con is you growers. And I love you all. You people who have put your life and liberty on the line to bring good cannabis to people. You people who they keep lumping in with, I hate that they do this, they lump the growers in with the black market. They say if you aren't supplying to the green market, you are black market. And no way. Most of you growers that are following me are people who have grown for a long time and have a love for your plant and the quality you produce. And you know that if you went legal, at least now if you went legal, sometimes there's barriers to legality which shouldn't be there, but even if you could, you maybe would not, because of these barriers of you either have to really put a lot of time and money into your product, or you have to irradiate it, and then you ruin your product slightly so it gets on the shelf. Also, shelf life. The product doesn't move quickly from grower to central locations to then being distributed out to the different stores, to then be on the shelf, to then go to the consumer, and then the grower gets paid. Growers should be paid up front. This needs to change. That's in the States. I don't know. I do think growers here in Canada are paid up front, because that's unfair, waiting until it's actually sold. But the grower always gets the crap end of the stick, and I feel for them. And the price variations, supply price fluctuations, because of glut and non-glut, the opposite, because of ups and downs in supply and demand, because of the upset of the market, are hurting growers the most. We as consumers get a little advantage on some price fluctuations, but they do not. And they need a good price for what they are doing. As it gets legal, yeah, they don't need the danger pay they used to have, but they have to make sure it's top quality without pesticides and without irradiating. I do think that's the way it's going. It is too expensive, and covert sabotage by pharma, by big pharma, by big alcohol, by big tobacco. I do think there's covert sabotage. I think they're part of the reason for the vape issues, to try and get demonized cannabis more, but it's failing. It's just making a better, stronger case for get it legal, so people have a legal source to buy from, so they aren't getting these things that could hurt or kill. The quality is not up there. I like my quality. I like my cannabis to be good quality. And I've had some good quality from the legal market, but not a lot. Not a lot. That's going to change over time. I talked about irradiation and growing in bulk. Growing in bulk just means less quality. These people are trying to have 10,000 plant farms, or I'm just throwing a number out there, but I like the idea of smaller farmers with more care to their crop. And over time, we will end up with both. You'll be able to go in and get the generic weed, and it's going to do the job, or you can get the craft stuff, the Cannadis, all that stuff. And my friends, Legalization 2.0 is here. although we can't buy the products until the new year. But what's Canada 2.0? That's shatters, waxes, concentrates, and edibles in the market, in the store, a couple blocks down from my house. So things are changing huge. And that's cool. Friends, you know what it's time for. Today, we have a couple. The process by which bread toasts is called the Maillard reaction. Cool. Snails have 14,000 teeth, and some can even kill you. That one's new to me. And Admiral Akbar. See him? Admiral Akbar from Star Wars Episode 6. Yeah. Return of the Jedi was not a man in a suit. He was a puppet. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but cool on that, and cool on all of you, and I hope you have a great weekend. Remember, I often don't film on Saturday. Peace and cheers. Love and harmony.